This is Matt's mixed playdown team.
That's what I figured, yeah.
Work that into the broadcast.
Oh, yeah, we can.
Hey, I was talking about Canadian mixed doubles, so.
I like it.
Oh, he doesn't have a lot to talk about. All right.
All right.
Yeah, whenever you can.
Welcome to the second draw of the 2018 Golden Handle here at Nutmeg Curling Club.
Woohoo!
All right, with me, I'm Ed Simia. With me is Kelly Jensen Sembas. We're going to be commentating on the... Hi.
Hi. Hello, world.
Yeah, we'll be commentating on this this here 5 p.m. draw. This is the first game for all these teams. The format this year, we have 12 teams in 3 round-robin groups of 4. So.
Yeah, we got a 4-game minimum.
Yeah, you play your 3 round robins. You're guaranteed to at least get into a semi for a pin. So, yeah, for an event. So.
And let's face it, we're all here for the jewelry.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no doubt. Oh, we already got 2 watchers too.
Can you turn me down, or you down in my...
Sure. I think you actually have to do that. There's a heads on the other one. There's a headphones volume. So is that better?
Yeah,
There we
thank
go. Little technical issue here. Not an issue so much as Kelly didn't want to hear my voice so loudly.
Well, I just didn't want to hear your voice twice.
Fair. All right, so on sheet A, we have Team Mayne of Nutmeg playing against Team Conrad. Team Conrad is from Plainfield. And our featured game in this draw will be on sheet C, where we have Team Gallegos from Ardsley against Team Clay, which is from a combined Nutmeg Columbus team, actually.
Yeah.
Bob and Barb Baroni, who are now Nutmeg members. I'm imagining they're playing with friends of theirs from Columbus.
They certainly look like friends from here.
They are recent transplants from Columbus. I know that.
Yes,
So.
yes.
Yeah. So looking at the number of rocks remaining, it looks like yellow has the hammer. That is the Gallegos team with the hammer on sheet C.
Yeah, and I would like to point out that this is a very, 2 very fashionable teams.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really well-dressed game that we have going on here. We've got great pants, we've got a kilt, we've got names on the back, you know.
Sharon Gallegos has both fancy pants and a very cute hat.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't lose here.
No.
Visually. There are
Just
ways to lose the game.
A quick look at the people in the near house. You can see a little bit of that fashion. So as we said, Team Gallegos here looks to have the hammer in the first end, and we'll be sitting 2 right now. Certainly the outside shot is open, and it looks like that's what Bob is calling for. I don't know if Bob must be throwing fourth. He's listed as the second on our program, but he is definitely in the house while the second is throwing. So I'm going to say he's both skipping and throwing fourth. Give you a quick look at that house down there. Oh, that's the wrong house. The varsity house. As they make the hit on the outside, Rock do not get the roll, and Matt Gallegos now looking to hit and roll away a bit. Looking to set up a deuce here in the first end. Jeff Hannon wanted me to point out that this is Matt Gallegos' mixed playdowns team that will be traveling to Rochester next month.
Next month.
It is already, huh? It's January, and next month is
Oh
February,
my
as it
God.
turns out. Seems like it came up really quick.
I know. It is the second month of the year, so after New Year's, you can expect it to be the next month.
That is true. Good point. Excellent commentary as always, Kelly. Good
Here
calendar
to point out
commentary.
the obvious.
A hit and roll out there for Team Gallegos and Barb Baroni vicing for Team Baroni. Be looking to make a hit here and clean up this end a little bit.
Like it's
Might
not
just
gonna come
be
back.
hanging a bit wide. Yeah, not coming back. The ice is running a little straight today. We've seen that, and we played a game earlier today at the 2 o'clock draw. You may have seen. We did not
You
perform
shouldn't have watched.
all that well.
I hope you didn't see.
In the chat, we see that Peter Sam has the senior mix. That might be chat from the first draw. I don't know. It is, because as you can see this comment, I won't repeat it. You can see that this was clearly for from an earlier. Yeah. All right. Team Gallegos looking to set up their deuce again. We're gonna fly rotate into the above the house view to see them sit their second point.
Love a fly rotate.
Not a bad placement. Very hard to hit and roll on that because it's pretty close to that front yellow. They're still going to try.
Yeah, and just that high guard is, at least visually making the shot a little
Sure.
something to think about.
Looks like this might be out a little wide, although I think she's definitely going to
Yeah.
remove the rock. I think so,
Yeah,
anyway.
I think she's going to move it, but it looks like she'll roll out.
Yeah. Why don't we try the cube zoom? Let's move out to the... Boom, look at that. Cube zoom.
I love a good, forget the word, transition.
Oh, yeah. Katie McKinley getting ready to throw her second rock as vice here for Team Gallegos. Once again, looking to draw in and sit 2. Super's trying to get there. Should get it in the house there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And deep enough to avoid the double. And very close to the front one in the house. Again, making it... I don't think at all you could hit and roll to the inside on that. I think it's going to be hard to get any more than nose.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, part of that's our ice. It's just because it's running so straight. You're not going to get any curl past that rock in the top 8. Bob definitely looking to make the hit here as he comes down to throw his first skips rock. Take a quick look in at the near houses. As you can see them. A little bit of discussion from the team about this shot. Bob and Barb, some of our newest members, as we said, definitely a very welcome addition to Nutmeg. We've enjoyed having them at the club.
Yeah. Yeah, I've met Bob, but I haven't had the opportunity to meet Barb yet. So.
One of the times we practiced preseason, she was out there too. I don't mean we, as in me and you necessarily, but I was out on the ice, and shots away. They are by the guard. Sweepers are off it. As it comes in, should remove something.
Oh, wow.
As long as
just slides right by that. I mean, probably as close to the inside as you'd get on this ice.
Yeah, and which shows you can't hit and roll inside on that, because he got as close as you could without a ton of weight. It was probably a very more than board, but control down, and so.
Yeah, it was great weight. I mean, from here, as where we're sitting is right behind it, looked like it just barely made it past that front yellow. So, I mean, probably about as close as it could get.
Oh, definitely. So Matt gonna look to hit and just replace that rock. I don't think there's any way to throw. If you since you can't roll under anyway, there's no way you can leave a double if you hit it because anything you hit the front rock with has to push the rock towards the middle. So yeah. All right. Matt's shot is away. See good. Sweepers are on it. Looking to hold the line here a bit, make sure it gets by that front one. It should with no problem.
Yeah.
May actually get a little bit of roll to the outside. Nice throw. I think, given the ice conditions, paradoxically, normally you might like that roll away. Here, where the only way you can get under is by having, you could never get under where the rock was before. He probably would have liked to have just nosed it, but still, I mean, that's a very long hit and roll. Any hit and roll may not even count because it's going to have to go to the back of the house. So looks like Bob's is not even looking at that, or at least is considering other options here. They're kind of looking at the possibility of throwing a draw.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a pretty long tap to tap anything in.
Yeah. I don't mind hitting here just because you can hit and give up your 2. It's the first end. If you give up a 2, you're not out of the game by any stretch. By the way, in Canadian mixed doubles trials action, Sweet and Gushu and Crocker Walker tied at 3. This is a quarterfinal in the double knockout format of their playoffs. A very long playoff format, which I guess you can do in mixed doubles because the games are much shorter than a...
That's true. Only 8 ends.
Well, 8 ends and only 5 rocks an end.
Yeah.
They fly by. If you ever try watching it on TV, you ever try watching it on TV, these games take an hour, 15 minutes, hour and a half maybe to play 8 ends. It's they only get 22 minutes of thinking time for 8 ends. It tells you they're, it's pretty.
Gotta think fast.
Well, you're playing fewer rocks.
Fewer people to offer their opinions.
Yep. All right, here comes Bob. He is throwing a draw. Sweepers are on it the whole way.
Oh, it looks like it's headed right for that guard.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's right on the guard. Maybe even closer to curling to the other side of the guard than actually. Yeah. Yeah. And that's going to leave Matt Gallegos to draw for 3 here.
Mm-hmm.
What does it feel like to give up 3 in the first end?
I wouldn't know.
Never experienced that in your life. Certainly not today.
I prefer to, give up 7.
Jeff Hannon standing behind us commentated on the first game. Not our best game, certainly.
There were a few misses out there.
A few misses.
Yeah, we had a few misses too.
Well, I mean, none of us had curled since last year, so really
it's true. It has been a whole year. All right, Matt Gallegos, his final rock away, looking to draw in here, hit the house for a 3rd point.
When I came up to throw, I had a chance to get 6.
Well, I understand that.
Sweepers are all over it. Looks like it's short from here. Yeah.
Well, they're working
Good
as hard
effort.
as they
They really are. Looks like it's going to come up maybe 4 feet or so short of the house. Still a good end for Team Gallegos. Gets off to a pretty quick start with a 2 in the first end.
Definitely want to get your 2.
Absolutely. I'll get a scoreboard set up. Why not? We like scoreboards here. What do you think? Corner scoreboard? Let's try that for a change. We haven't used the corner scoreboard.
That.
So the red team is Baroni. Yellow team is Gallegos.
Yes. And he's like changed his nationality.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There we go. Gallegos 2-0 at the end of the first.
Nutmeg Curling Club does not stand behind any of the things you may overhear from commentary in the warm room.
If you've ever seen anyone,
the commentary in the warm room does not
reflect the values or opinions of the Nutmeg Curling Club as a whole. So first rock from Sharon Gallegos didn't quite make it over the hog line, so we have an empty sheet for the first rock from Team Baroni.
Yeah. I'm gonna go get some commentary from the bar while we're in the early rocks.
Oh, I wouldn't mind some
You look
bar-related
thirsty.
commentary. Why don't I?
I got it.
You got it? All right.
Yeah. The
Wow.
usual.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what a good color commentator's for.
Are you deploying her to the other sheet?
We will definitely do some check-ins on the other sheet over.
For now, we'll just be checking in from the bar.
Yeah, we do have the bar first. Okay, a corner guard going up here for Team Baroni to start off the second end.
Spirit of curling.
All right, Michael Green learning how to spectate using one of our curling guidebooks that we have out here.
Handshake? Sportsmanship? What's this?
All right. Sharon's second rock away. This one looks like it's got the right weight and is coming in right near the center line.
Have you written the whole song?
No, but it should be done. Yeah, it's a perfect curling song.
Yeah, solid two guard there, right just a couple inches off the center line. About what they were looking for.
Stand in between the hog lines.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Wait for the others. Stand in between the hog lines.
Yes. That's good.
Whatever.
All right, second rock incoming from Diane Clay
Run and get into position. Let's move the game
for
along.
Team Baroni.
Hurry. A command which instructs players.
Looks like Team Mayne took one in the first on Sheet A, for those interested in an update on Sheet A.
Now?
Never's not there.
It never's not there.
Team Baroni trying to sweep this one in, leave it just a couple inches short, certainly a useful rock.
Interesting.
We're hoping to get it around the guard, but a rock that Team Gallegos has to deal with at some point, and looks like they may just play on it right now.
No, it's still the same thing. It's just,
Nope, they're going to play the draw around the center guards, which perfectly sensible shot here. A more aggressive play, looking to set up a steal here in the second end.
people like me better. I got the 8. I got the 12, I mean.
You got the 12?
12 viewers.
Oh, yes, we have 8 viewers right now. Jeff Hannon bragging that he had 12 during his draw. Tell your friends, we need to beat 12. 12 is the number to beat here in the second draw. Okay, here comes Sean. It's going to leave another center guard, center-ish guard. Just never really moved off that line. Clipped a bit of the corner guard for Team Baroni. So a lot of junk out front here. Bob's going to be happy about that after giving up 2 in the first, and may very well just play a split on the Reds here to set up his deuce.
I don't know. On this sheet, the way we were playing, I think that probably is enough ice.
It depends on how deep you want it.
They
Way wide, way wide.
let it curl. And fast.
Rock's just a little bit off the line, trying to get a piece of that front red, but it's a little wide, a little heavy, and just enough weight to get through the house. All right, looks like some drinks have appeared here in the commentary booth.
Well, the commentary's going to get more colorful.
The drinks are here, and it's done here.
That's right. Yeah.
What did we miss?
I can't actually hear you. I don't think you...
Oh, you didn't turn back on?
The joke to serious commentary.
You're on. Did you accidentally hit the... Ah, yeah, you did.
For the first time ever, I muted myself.
Well, that's a... There's a first for everything. So Team Gallegos does remove the corner guard and leaves a lot of junk out front. I would expect Bob's going to play the split again here. And he's going to try to draw around. If he gets the tap or the split, I think he'll be perfectly happy with that as well.
From all the cameras I can see, it doesn't look like any rocks are in the house at the moment.
No, there are no rocks in the house. You are correct. Shots away from Steve Clay. Yeah, as the Worm Room commentary here behind us might have clued you in, this rock looks like it's a bit wide. I think it might have a little less weight. This may stick around anyway, though, and be a
Not
count.
sure. Looks pretty heavy.
Think it's still heavy? Yeah. Well. Oh, back 8, back 12, somewhere back there. Okay. Well, the nice thing for them is that it didn't stop like back forward, actually. If it was going to be deep, having it very deep as Team with the Hammer, not bad.
Yeah.
You know, Matt's not going to just come down and freeze to that because that doesn't really help him all that much. So, Katie McKinley getting ready to throw her first rock of the end. This is the first Vice rock. Rocks away, as you can see. Sweepers around it all the way. May feel that's a little light. The line looks fine.
Yeah.
Maybe even a touch wide, huh?
It looks not that.
Yeah, it looks like it just was a bit outside, and the Supers wanted to go, but really couldn't because of the line. And not a terrible result because it is tight to the house, so it's very usable.
Definitely. Yeah.
But
with only one rock in the house, you know, there's still a lot. There's still a lot of scoring area to be had.
Yeah, I think Bob's gonna now play the split, and if he can make that split, he'll sit 3, a couple of which will be behind guards, and put a lot of pressure on Team Gallegos here.
Yeah.
Right, it does give you something.
All right, shots away. Yeah, another, as again, if you might have heard in the background in the war room, another shot that is a little bit wide on this line. This unfortunately could tap in the yellow here to sit shot, and it did. And yes, that's a unfortunate result. Again, part of the ice is very unforgiving right now. If you're wide, it's not going to come back, and.
So looking for the draw from the outside here.
Yeah, I guess they just want to sit there too, and at least have a force at worst, and maybe steal a multiple if it's not very easy to get into the middle right now for Team Baroni. That draw window, even on straight ice, is pretty tight.
Looks like it might have a little extra mustard on it.
Yeah, may have expected the outside line to be slow, which it is, and it is slowing down, but maybe just not enough. Maybe gonna be in the house, but not out counting the back red. So yellow 1, red 2. Wonder if he'd consider playing that red run back. It's not that long, and even if you just move it, at least you open up the yellow rock. You don't have to make it a reasonable shot to call.
Yeah, just opening things up will be good for them right now.
And if you hit it on the outside at all, you might put something else in the house because you could easily crash that front red, or a lot of good things can happen here, and that's sort of what he's looking at. Oh no, he's looking at the split again, which that's fine too.
I feel like he's looked at a few different things in the last second, so.
Well, when you're not out there, it's hard to see what they mean by the. Yeah. In any case, shots away here for Barb Baroni. This line looks much better.
Yeah.
In fact, supers are all over it. This could be just a tap if it has the weight. Weight looks close. Hard to say if it's going to have just... caught a piece of the guard. If they can bring it to sit, I believe... Yeah, they're definitely second, third now, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So one of the things that, a lot of people...
That might be tough to run that.
Yeah, they may guard it anyway, just to be careful, it looks like. But you have to guard... I think you actually have to guard the one that's in the house. So we'll go back to the overhead view for a second. The easier run back... Yeah, what Katie's pointing out now is you can sort of guard both at the same time if you throw a yellow rock up there. One common thing I see a lot of skips do, I don't think either of these skips will, and this is obvious because he's protecting that shot, is yellow's 1 right now and might feel very good about that, but red has the hammer, and if they have a lot of rocks in the house, there's always the potential to turn that into a big end.
Yeah.
So you really want to take this shot away and not feel like you're comfortable just because your rock's the counter.
bugging you guys?
Nah.
We're not paying attention to you.
We've warned viewers several times that the commentary heard in the background does not reflect the views, opinions, or values of the Nutmeg Curling Club. So, Matt's shot is away, by the way, as we're up to 9 viewers, trying to beat Jeff Hannon's level of 12 viewers in the last draw. A little light, and the Supers are really going to get this over the hog line. They did, and actually the line is. It did overcurl a bit, but I think
it still is close enough and guarding enough.
So I think the thing is, it was more important to guard that red close to the center line, because this is very hard to make because of that second red rock.
Yeah.
It's there, but where you put the yellow guard may have made it not there, because you have to hit it a bit on the inside to get there. Fly rotate. I'm just going to name the transitions every time we do them. They're so much fun.
Fly rotate. Cube zoom.
Oh, yeah. Yellow has a whole bunch of rocks on sheet A. I can quickly go to that to show that yellow's sitting 3 over here. Although Sean, with his first skip rock, Mayne, is going to look to remove some of those. So we'll cut back to the our feature game. Still 1-0 over on A, playing the second end just as in the game here. Bob talking about what he wants to do. I have a feeling, I mean, it's not impossible to make the actual run back on the yellow. I think he'd be happy also to just, you can easily play a tap-tap move that, to give you guys a view of the house again. You can easily play the tap on the rock that Barb is standing at. If you don't make the run back, you can also, if you play a reasonably soft weight, catch a piece of your red and tap it in there. So, shots away. It looks like it might be a bit outside.
Yeah.
Weight's nice too, which is unfortunate because they're just not moving. Now this could just be a draw by the end of it, actually. It's pretty light, and the sweepers are going now to try to get it to count. And unfortunately, red now, second, third, and fourth.
Yeah.
Deceptively dangerous situation here, because that red could easily be run in and to remove that yellow.
Yeah.
So you want more facts about Team Gallegos?
Oh, Jeff Hannon wants to give us more Gallegos facts.
Katie and Tom are engaged.
Oh, so we have a married couple on the team in Matt and Sharon Gallegos, but Katie McKinley and Tom Daly were just told are engaged, so congratulations to them.
Congratulations.
I certainly hope that's
More
true.
than just curling ice between them. If either Katie or Tom is engaged to someone else, then we're sorry. We were given bad information.
All right. Matt Gallegos' final rock coming in, looking to guard this tap to take away the possibility for Baroni to get 3 here.
The sweepers are
3 or 4 even.
getting at it
Probably
just
3.
now.
Well, the other matter, even though they're in different.
And this is over on sheet A or Conrad. It's got to be at least his 25th golden handle.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know that Earl's played a lot of golden handles over the years. I think everyone I've played in since I've started, he's been in, and many more before then. And is sitting 3. Sean has another rock over there on A, but almost no matter what he does, it's going to be an opportunity for Team Conrad to pick up some points on A. In any case, Bob Baroni coming down here to throw his final rock, the final rock of the end. That guard just hung wide. It never curled back at all, giving Bob a shot here for this tap run back for probably only for 3. I think even if you somehow stuck your shooter, that back yellow would likely outcount it. Shots away. Once again, looks like it's just hanging outside. Could be a play off of this yellow. Off and just gonna hit that even too thick. Rock's just not coming back on that line.
Yeah,
If you throw them
yeah.
and you give them, and they float a little bit. And so that's going to end up being a score of 1 yellow. Steal 1 for Team Gallegos, giving
Yeah.
a 3-0 lead after
Yeah, a
2.
lot of rocks in play that end.
Yeah, that was definitely not a safe end for Team Gallegos, but they
No.
managed to get the steal and expand their lead by another rock.
So that's why she said that she could put herself on the side. He's funny. He sings well. He's the one who played Jack and Diane. I can really list. I can go. Karen said yes.
Jack talking a little bit about the entertainment we have for tomorrow night here at night.
Patty cakes, patty cakes.
Looks like Team Sweeting Gushu took a 6-3 lead here in the mixed doubles
Oh, wow.
action. And it's going to be 6-4 now after they draw for one. Interesting thing in mixed doubles, not good to blank because you give up the hammer. That's why teams don't blank in mixed doubles, yeah. Definitely a game designed to prioritize action over, like, strategic maneuvering.
Well, I can see how that would make it, a more appealing game to watch. However, I would say that blanking is not in action.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Especially seeing the way some teams end up blanking.
Yeah, especially at the club level, blanks can be very exciting. No, I think it's. I've come around on the idea that it just gives it a completely different flavor than standard curling. So that's more the idea, rather than being better or worse. It's just something different, and you want to differentiate the two forms of the game. So, first rock in here for Team Gallegos, I think was called into the house with a 3-0 lead, and ends up going a bit deep, but is hanging around there in the back 12. Sorry, that was the first rock for Team Baroni. I missed the first rock for Team Gallegos. So Baroni's rock
went through, or
goes
didn't go far enough.
It did not end up in
Too
play.
Far or not far enough.
So Team Baroni now has a rock back 12, and Team Gallegos looking to, I believe, based on the line, come in front of it here in the center of the house. And they're going to leave just a super tight guard. I do not think that's in. I think that is a guard.
Yeah, it looks, from all camera angles, not quite in. But it's hard to know.
Yeah, very difficult for us to say for sure. What I can say is that going to the 8th, it's Sweeting Gushu at 6, Crocker Walker 4. It'll be Crocker Walkers.
Cracker Walker.
Crocker Walker. Crocker Walker. Crocker Walker. That'd be their first loss. They went undefeated in the round robin, but I guess this is where it gets real in the playoffs. All right. Team Baroni looking to sit 2 here. Maybe set up a little bit of a Christmas tree here if they can get around, partially around that center guard. Although it looks like they're more likely to crash onto that center guard or just stay short. It might just be another guard. Okay. So in general with the hammer, you don't want those center guards so much, but they are down by 3, so I think they like having the rocks in play. Guards are probably okay for them here. You'd prefer them to be to the sides, but a center guard's still something you can at least use to set up a multiple. I'm going to step out for a second to use the restroom, and I'll let Kelly take over for a few minutes. I'll leave it on this view so they can see what's going on.
All right. All right, and this draw in looking like it's just about half a rock in the 12-foot. All right, looks like Rob's calling for a big hit, and thinking that a normal weight takeout can get rid of both of these yellows.
And it's going to grow with time. It should.
Isn't that what legends do?
That's what they're supposed to. It will eventually enter.
Looks a little outside.
Not just legend.
I think we're already there.
Oh. Came back and gets rid of one, but also gets rid of their own in the back of the house. So leaving that yellow rock in the top of the 12-foot, but with 2 red guards just off the center line.
Did they switch the colors of the rocks? Yes, Gallegos was playing yellow.
Right, and sweepers are going hard on this, which looks like they're either tapping in or splitting in or drawing in.
It does not matter, except that Gallegos is up. He's playing yellow.
Looks like they're going to be able to knock this behind cover just a little bit, but have 2 rocks in play in the top 12. So Bob's looking to make those rocks go away. All right, and the rocks away from Steve. Sweepers are off it all the way.
Do you know the story behind the golden handle? Why it's the golden handle?
We made it up.
And one out and knocked the other one around. Went past the guards, so it's available.
All right, what did I miss, Kells Bells?
Nothing.
Not too much. Well,
not too much. We got a lot of red rocks. Trying to clear red rocks or yellow rocks from the center. We've left a lot of red rocks clustered in the front, so
sure.
they're looking to. I think the call was to guard. It's a little wide, so I guess just.
Update on sheet A, by the way. It's 2-0 after 2 ends for Team Mayne. Looks like they ended up stealing one in the second. So.
Well, I'm surprised with the way that house was shaping up.
I didn't see Sean's last shot. There were opportunities to hit and roll. Maybe he got around something, and then, that was enough to steal the point. All right. So Barb looking here to remove this yellow rock and sit one for red. Sweepers are on it.
Might be on the guard.
Yeah, Sweepers were on it early, but I don't think they had to be. Now, it could clip thin, push a red in. That would at least potentially set up a deuce. And that red does stick in the house.
Just hanging around for funsies.
So clearing a guard and putting a potential counter on. The only downside, that yellow is pretty well guarded now by the red rocks.
Yeah.
Matt may choose to eliminate the red rock anyway, just to avoid any potential danger. He's looking at all the potential, because there are angle runbacks, although maybe he's thinking they're not dangerous enough to worry about it. He's going to draw around. Looks like he's going for the draw. Let's check in on the live chat with our 10 viewers. Yeah, Mark Zagan says the scoreboard on the screen is blocking the score on sheet A. We don't care about the score on sheet A. No, I will correct that. I saw that too. I just didn't think if I gave you updates, you'd mind. So we'll put the scoreboard up from time to time, and I can actually play around with that if you really want me to.
All right, a really nice 2-line draw here. Unfortunately, not getting quite as much curl. So.
Oh, look at that! We went right to the other corner. Boom.
You put it on the bottom too.
I could. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Or do scoreboards for both games.
We could do that too. That would take a little more work. It's not, but it would be a lot of work to do right now when I did not prepare for that eventuality.
Barbaroni looking out to take a little bit narrow, but ended up with a nice result, knocking out that buried yellow rock and then freezing down to.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to potentially set up a big end because you may be able to remove that yellow later on. Just tap the red and push the yellow out. Yeah.
And getting rid of that yellow that was pretty much completely buried is good for them.
That's definitely what Matt Gallegos is looking at right now, just how to take care of this potential issue. He may be looking to, I think he might even be playing, I'm not sure if he's playing a draw or to hit the red. Sweeting Gushu up 2 with the hammer in the 8th here in the mixed doubles competition if you are not watching that yourself.
And sweeping hard.
Yeah, we did not see the view of the house because we've been paying attention to our games here at Nutmeg.
Our own houses.
But a very good, they drew to the top 8, so Crocker Walker can hit and force Sweeting Gushu to throw their last rock against 2, but they're either going to have a wide open draw or a open hit that they don't have to stick to win the game. So looking pretty good. Gallegos is hit away, trying to pick out this red. May do the job or well enough. That'll do it as long as the yellow hangs on. Oh, I believe the red is out counting it for sure. So red now sitting 1. Good effort, but just didn't curl up maybe or did not. I think he came in out, so did not curl up quite enough to pick it out like he wanted to, or at least keep. So Bob coming down here to throw his final rock.
No, we're not. We still have.
Sorry, his first skips rock, and I knew that. Looking to sit 2 here.
Oh.
That's a hammerhead pin from the Long Island Curling Club.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Awesome. Is this for me, or are you just asking me?
I'm just showing it so you can talk.
Well, you curl.
Okay.
You might be able to talk into it.
I wouldn't want to curl against you guys. Seems
Oh,
so nice.
FYI, Kelly's voice is not coming through with as much volume as Ed's, because we did just barely turn it back on. You may have to turn the volume up further on your... There you go. I think that's good. Start talking now.
I will start talking now.
Oh, yeah, you are much louder now. You may
I
be
was
louder
also
than I.
holding my microphone away when I was speaking to the table
okay.
behind us, so that may have been part of it.
Thank you, Scott
but if-
Funston.
Oh, thanks, Scott.
And sorry we missed that shot while we were dealing with volume issues, but it looks like they came up just short on counting 2. So Matt may look to... I'm not sure what he's going to do. It's not actually that easy to pick out the red because you could easily jam it on your yellow and still leave them sitting 1. Unless you catch it from the outside, which is a line we haven't played much that close to the wall, and they've already seen rocks falling a bit.
Yeah.
That might be a little scary. Looks like he may opt to just draw and sit 1 guarded. Feels more comfortable doing that than
Yeah.
hitting
That
anything.
seems like a good...
I think given what we've seen out there and what they are seeing out there themselves, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, only the third end, and they don't curl here, so...
Yeah.
And frankly, it's new ice for all of us, because we had a flood last week, and so even the Nutmeg teams haven't played on this ice yet.
Yeah, still fairly green ice. This is, a week and a half, not like 9 days maybe? I think it was last
Just
Wednesday.
a week, right?
Yeah. Like Wednesday, Thursday last week, I think they did it. So yeah, just barely over a week
Yeah.
if that. All right, last shot away from...
Newborn ice.
Gallegos. Baby ice. Ice, baby, you might say. you can see the rock coming in. Sweepers have gotten off of it late. Looks like it's got plenty of weight, but it does not have it's just not curling out there, and it's going to be a counter, but wide open.
Yeah.
So that sets up a pretty easy decision here. He's going to hit and try to get his deuce if he can hit and stick around.
Yeah.
Anything more than the smallest of bites will count for 2. That's assuming. I think the yellow is probably just barely biting, and
yeah.
So you have to actually you have to be in the house. If you are clearly in the house, then you are counting.
They have to be flips. They can't be dicks though, but they can be flips.
I've never heard anything.
Or flips.
You know what? Now that you say it.
Bob's final rock away, and just like the other rocks out here, this is hanging out wide, and it's also, he didn't even throw that much weight, and it is just hanging.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, it never came back, and he ended up throwing what was back 8 weight, and it just hung out there for a steal of 1 for Team Gallegos. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
So that's going to make it 4-0 Team Gallegos heading into the 4th end. Very reminiscent of our game earlier today. Took us a while to get on the scoreboard as well. Third end just wrapped up on sheet A as well. Did not catch what happened. We'll update you on the score there as soon as we get more information, by which I mean as soon as the Vices put up the score. Although it looks like Team Mayne stole again because Emily Winter is getting ready to throw the first rock of the 4th end over there. All right, Team Gallegos now with a 4-point lead, throwing into the house and puts one up in the top 12.
Is Sean also a lefty?
Sean is a lefty. He may not be happy about the lefty hack on sheet.
On sheet A, yeah.
And he is moving hacks around. I'm going to keep the camera on the near houses as we watch this action happen. This is.
Well, Sean, I'm hoping that your problem with the hack explains some of my shots from our earlier game out of the left-hand hack.
Sure, I'll go with that also.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's why the righties played much better than we did.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Steph. Cut back to the near houses here, where Team Brony's throwing up a corner guard. So we have a pretty classic start to the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like Matt's calling for a center line guard.
Just to guard the one that he's already thrown in and play sort of a more conservative steal, but still, throwing the first one in and then guarding is perfectly good.
Well, although I think this is more than a guard.
Well, he might have wanted it in, given the scoreboard. I actually wouldn't be surprised.
Well, if he did, it's not.
I mean, a tight guard's not bad at all. You can't remove it yet, but they can hit it. So what Bob might be trying to do is remove the guard by hitting it into the one in the house, which you are allowed to remove. Clever little. He may also be throwing a. Nope, that's a lot of weight.
Yep.
They're definitely playing some sort of a hit here. I think it might just slide by everything. Might catch a piece of the back yellow. No, just gets right by it.
Yeah.
Just a touch wide.
Really did curl quite a bit
Touch
of
and
that
arrow,
weight.
I should say.
Yeah.
We had some funky rocks in our game too.
Yeah, it's new ice for us, and we're
and obviously for all the teams visiting. Yeah.
We're currently out our nipper, so it's
Yeah, we are running rocks instead. We have a rock box that we can use when this happens. But
Rock box.
Doing a little old school right now with the rock box before every game, before every draw.
Going
all
back
right.
to the Stone Age
Yeah.
the Steel Age.
Yeah. All right. Team Gallegos going to look to pile some rocks here in the center of the ice. It does a nice job of tapping their rock up a couple feet. And
Got a nice little cluster of grapes right here for them.
a cluster of grapes. Yellow grapes.
Yellow grapes.
Not used to yellow grapes, but... And
That's how they make golden raisins.
Even down 4 is a little bit too much in the center here for yellow for Bob Baroni's taste. So he's going to peel some stuff out of here.
Yeah. Play the old get rid of some stuff shot.
Oh, yeah. Rocks incoming. Will remove 1 and leave a corner guard. Can't be too upset about that.
Yeah.
So that both cleaned up the middle a bit and put a little more potential in the end for a score later on.
Yeah.
Oh, YouTube on my phone tells me that Nutmeg Curling Club is live with the 2018 Golden Handle Friday 5 p.m. draw. Wonder who's casting that, Kelly.
Sounds like an incredible broadcast. If I was at home, I'd be watching. Speaking of those at home watching, just like to thank all of our
13
viewers.
of you, which is, I believe we've now beaten
Very lucky.
the number
A
that...
very lucky number.
All right, another center line guard here for Team Gallegos.
Yep.
Keeping that center clogged up and forcing Team Baroni to deal with those rocks.
Yeah.
Jeff was bragging that he had 12 viewers before, so I think the fact that we've eclipsed him at 13 is a milestone
Oh,
for
look
us.
out. Yes.
We have
We got-
13 now. Now, I will say this. If you go by the common stat of VPB, viewers per broadcaster, you're still way ahead because you had 12 for one broadcaster. We're only at 6.5 per broadcaster.
Why did you give him that?
I had to give him something. So,
Well, to try to draw in more viewers, I'm going to just describe the delicious smells of the warm room as dinner is served. I don't
Yes.
know what it is. I see some bread and salad, maybe a lasagna.
yeah. Yeah, we're glad you're all here for our broadcast. This is a new thing for us. We just finally got the streaming equipment all set into place earlier this season. Some of you may have watched the Crystal Snowflake earlier a few weeks ago, and now the Golden Handle. So if you like watching curling and you want, reasonably good curling with reasonably good broadcasts,
Reasonably
Tuesday night
great
every week.
broadcast.
Tuesday night every week we do our league nights also. So that's our competitive league, so it tends to be pretty good curling. All right, Gallegos really looking to set up a true steal now. They don't have a rock that's that close to the button yet, but if this one can curl in and get some cover, going to be a nice rock
Really
right
nice
on the
rock.
tee line and not buried, but half buried maybe, which on this ice without it curling is difficult to get to.
I was going to say, there was maybe a maximum of 2 inches. So a really nice line call for Team Gallegos there, and a nice rock, because I don't know how much more buried they could have gotten.
I was going to ask if you had played against Matt and Sharon before, but you did last year because you played with the Golden Handle with me last year, and they were in our pool last year. Last year's pool's very exciting. Both teams ended with like 3-way 2-1 ties.
Uh-huh. And hopefully we're destined for a good 2-1 tie.
We're going to have to win our last 2. Very nice shot there, by the way, by Barbaroni. Taps back the yellow. Keeps counting. And we're distracted by this food that Courtney Mears is showing us. Some nice pasta, bread and butter, salad.
Yeah. Is that a veggie lasagna? Oh.
And a veggie lasagna. Wow, very nice.
Yeah. Well, at the end of this commentator is going to be getting a snack.
We can definitely go on shifts. You can go
Dibs
this
first.
end, and I will go after that. So Matt calling for the hit here. A little difficult only because you have to get close to the guard. You could easily jam this if you get to the outside, which they did. And just enough. They did jam it, but yellow is counting now.
Yeah.
Which sets up sort of the opposite situation now. Red can play the hit, but with their own risk of jamming into their rock. If they can get to the inside of that, which you probably can now.
Oh, yeah.
You can split two, and
I think there's definitely enough room to
yeah.
hit that rock wherever they want to.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Maybe the extreme outside would be hard because of the red, but yeah, they can definitely get to the inside, which is where they want to get.
Yeah.
So. Sweepers are sort of on-off. Now they're holding the line.
Oh, yeah, it looks like it's maybe over curling a bit.
Maybe a bit. Can she get
Might
a
come
piece?
down to
Oh, gets the little wick off the guard, kicks it out, and red is sitting two. Very nice.
Doesn't always matter how you draw it up if you get the result that you like.
Absolutely. No, that was definitely a possibility that was in play. It wasn't like a completely random wick.
Yes, definitely not a completely random wick.
No. I'm not saying that's
definitely in play.
I'm not saying that's what they're calling, but it was. If you miss the shot by a couple inches, you end up wicking the rock. It has to be a near miss to make that.
Yes.
It's not one that's like, oh, I missed it by 3 feet and then wicked off this rock and made the shot. So, Matt Gallegos settling into the hack here for his first skip rock. He is probably looking to play the double here. It's definitely there on the nose.
Yeah.
Probably gets him with enough weight.
Sweepers are off it.
Yeah, they're just letting it go. It might be. I think he's on the guard.
Oh.
And actually kind of guards those. It definitely takes the double away, unfortunately for him. So Rob could look to draw in here, sit three, and if he makes it really nice, it's not easy for Team Gallegos to end up. I'll actually leave it on the overhead view for a while they look at the strategy here. Does not make it easy to count for. Might be more of a limit the damage situation for Gallegos if Baroni makes a good shot here. Now the good news for them is they are up 4, so even if you give up 2 or 3 here, you're not going to feel like it's a disaster. You get the hammer back with the lead.
Yeah.
But definitely a sizable end in play here for Team Baroni now. Again, the hits on this ice right now are very unforgiving. We saw that in our game.
Yeah.
The other team, we did not play on Sheet C, but the team that played on Sheet C said it was the same over there last draw, too.
I mean, even this is looking like quite a bit of ice to me to try to draw in.
Yeah.
Undercover, I mean, that's,
Yeah, and I mean,
about
I don't
4
think
feet of curl that...
I don't think he feels like he has to be buried, but I think he would like to be buried because you're down so much that if you can bury another one and sit 4 or put 4 into play. This goes a bit... Okay.
Yeah, well, it honestly buried more than I thought it would.
Certainly. Has some coverage there. Matt's going to try to follow it down, it looks like, and shut down the end here. All right, 12 viewers. If anyone out there is not a curler and wants some more basic information, just let us know in the chat, and we'll be happy to help you out. We'd love to grow the sport. Hashtag grow the sport.
Hashtag grow the sport. Hashtag curling. Hashtag curling rock emoji.
Well, we have it now. We don't need that hashtag anymore. We can just put the curling rock emoji.
But that's what I can't say curling rock emoji without saying curling rock emoji.
You're right.
So yeah.
All right. Matt's final shot away here. Definitely trying to play the freeze, and this looks like it got out a bit wide too.
Yeah.
Hard to say for sure because
looks a
the
little...
last one curled a bit, but I don't think it was out this wide. Now they're going to try to get it into outcount something to at least put some pressure on. And I think it will. I think this will end up being second shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, a chance for Verona to get it all back right here.
Yeah.
Hit nose or inside or, anywhere close to nose. We'll,
just hit
not
nose
like-
and don't roll out of the 8-foot.
Exactly.
Don't even touch the 12-foot and you're good.
Hit and stick and you're good.
Yeah.
How's the dinner, Courtney?
I'm alive here with Courtney Mears as she eats. I'd ask more questions, but she's chewing.
That does not make for good TV. All
And
right,
the bite is
Rob's
away.
final rock is away. It actually looks pretty close. I think he's got it. And they're sweeping
Yeah.
now. In fact, they may
Yep.
need to sweep for a line to hold it for... Oh, I think he's right on the nose. That's an
Oh,
excellent
wow.
shot. As Vic Router would say, count 'em up. That's 4 for Team Peroni. And after 4 ends, we have a tie game, folks.
All right. Well,
What a turnaround.
making this an exciting feature sheet.
Yeah, you may have thought we would have had to switch ends, but
But we don't.
we don't. Now we have a very, very tight game here.
Yeah, and we've got 2 rocks left on sheet A, where it looks like.
Yeah, why don't we give some sheet A
Red's
coverage?
Sitting 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, here's a live look in. Red definitely sitting 3 now that I look
Okay.
at it. On that. Yeah. Red is up 2-0. Yellow blanked the third end. Unfortunately, not really in a position here to take multiple points because they're going to have to scramble a bit on their last track to get 1. Red sitting 3 and Sean Mayne throwing his final rock without the hammer. Oh, go for it.
Yeah. Yep, sweepers are off, so it looks like they're waiting for that to curl. Looks
Yellow,
like it's all
I think
over a guard.
Just trying to guard his rocks that are in play here. That's actually a very nice guard.
He's controlling the center line.
To say the least, you can say that Red has control of the center line there on sheet A. So that's Team Conrad going to be looking to draw in here for their 1 at this point.
Yeah.
There's no, even if they wanted to, there's no triple there. The rocks just aren't lined
narrow,
up.
But recalling how much it curled, they may be able to even get to the button.
Yeah, it's interesting because it would depend on some of the lines as we played them a lot started to pick up some curl. Like the lines that go right to the button, which at the start of the game were maybe like the edge of the 4-foot, wasn't very much curl. As we played them more, they started to pick up more curl. Alf Winter here is
Huge cheering section over on sheet A.
yeah. There is a lot of viewership on sheet A for sure.
The Connecticut College contingent.
Fans of the Winter family over on sheet A is what you're saying.
All right, well.
Yeah.
Well, there's discussion on sheet A, and we're in the early stones on sheet C. I'm going to go take a look at the dinner
Yeah,
offerings.
that sounds like an excellent plan.
So, Ed, hold it down while I'm away.
I will. All right, looks like they've settled on a shot here. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe they just feel this is a line that's going to hold straighter on sheet A. Certainly, if the line runs pretty straight, you can certainly draw either side on A. It's this might be a little tougher to get full 4 though. It may be that the other draw is just not there, and well, we'll see. This may be more an attempt to cut down than to score. Shots away from Earl Conrad. Sweepers are on it right away. Line looks pretty close. If they can get it by the top one, they'll at least cut down by a point, but it looks like that's coming up short, and that's going to be a steal of 3 for Red, even a 5-0 lead after 4 ends. Let's go back to our feature game on sheet C. which is currently tied 4-4 as we head into the fifth end. Did not see the early rocks, but we are looking at the first rock from the second for Team Baroni. That's Steve Clay, looking to just remove the only counter in play, which is a yellow rock on the forefoot. Sweepers are on it hard to hold it, and they will. But rolling out, so nothing in the house right now. Yellow does have a corner guard they're going to attempt to use with Tom Daly, the second, preparing to throw his first rock. Kelly's back with some food. She's got bread and butter, that veggie lasagna, and some eggplant parm. Oh, eggplant parm. Wow, I'm going to be definitely checking out the dinner table after this end. All right. Sweepers are on this rock as well. Really looking to dig in here. They can either play a tap to get it in or get around. Looks like it's going to be on the garden without enough weight to tap it. So I can say there's a couple corner guards here. Not a bad situation for Team Gallegos. They can use those later. Baroni going to try to get there first to force them to one if they can get buried back there. Draws away. Looks like it might be a bit wide for that line. This may not come back enough to get buried.
I don't know what they put in it, but it's like cracked. Oh.
Man, something is apparently like crack at the dinner table. What's so good at the dinner table that is like
cheese lasagna is
the cheese lasagna is getting rave reviews. All right, that rock, both a little wide and heavy, so Team Gallegos is going to get another chance with the hammer to get behind their corner guard here and set up a deuce. Thank you to the 10 people currently listening to our broadcast. Yes, Team Gallegos, their fourth rock of the end, looking to bring this into the house. Once again, might be coming up just a bit short, and this time leaving a guard on the edge of the, on the 4-foot line. That food looks really good, and it's distracting, I have to say. It's okay. I mean, I don't blame you for eating. I will, but after this end, I'm good. I will. Thank you. Kelly offered to let me get some food right now, but we'll wait till the end of the end.
I shall permit you to eat.
All right, if anyone has a better term for the end of the end, that's always been a phrase that's kind of bothered me a bit. It just sounds repetitive, end of the end. Brian Glassell just asked, who are the 4 clubs represented by these teams? Well, on our feature game here on Sheet C, Team Gallegos is an Ardsley team. They are playing Team Baroni, which is a mixed Nutmeg Columbus team. The Baronis are new members to Nutmeg coming from the Columbus Curling Club. By the way, excellent draw there for Team Baroni, getting that buried in the top 12. I'm sure they're very happy with that rock. Can't quite call it a steel rock because Team Gallegos would just have to outdraw it by drawing anywhere touching the 8-foot even. But definitely starts to set up something that's either a steal or a force later in the end. Gallegos looking like they're willing to stick with the draw game for a bit here, having Katie McKinley throw a draw that might have the weight to tap in this yellow to outcount the red. All right, yellow now counting 1. Good. So as I said, we have a Ardsley team playing against a Nutmeg Columbus team here on Sheet C. On Sheet A, Team Mayne is a Nutmeg team, and they are playing against Team Conrad from Plainfield, skipped by Earl Conrad, who has, as Jeff was saying earlier, made many appearances at the Golden Handle, a regular here. All right, Team Brony looking to make a hit here to sit 2. Trying to get by the top guard, but I think they're just going to catch a piece of it. Yeah. Unfortunately, just caught a piece of that guard. Exposing their red rock, not removing the yellow. So Matt can choose from a couple different techniques. With Katie's second rock, he can either hit to sit 2, which he might just remove the possibility of a tap later. He could also draw just to sit 2 if he wanted to. This makes a lot of sense, though, just hitting that rock, making sure it can't be used later by Team Baroni, and even if they knows that they'll be in the house, so they'll be able to sit 2. Rocks away. Supers are on it right away. Gets it just about right on the nose, which is more than enough to sit 2. There's certainly a double there, even more than it looks on camera. From our view in the warm room, looks like it's almost just a nose double. But worst case scenario, even if they throw the double, they will not. Red won't be in the house. Yellow will have a pretty good chance to at worst blank this end. So we have this thing in our program as we're going to the Battle of Sexes, 6:30 p.m.
4 ends.
And it's a 4-end competition apparently today and tomorrow. I don't know what that is at all. Would you like to do some investigative reporting and ask if anyone else knows what that is? I mean, Jeff's out on the ice, so presumably someone knows what it is in the warm room. Oh, right, Jack is here. Sorry, he played earlier with us. Yeah, my mistake. Team Baroni in discussion exactly what they want to do here. I think the double's the natural call. You don't love the blank. It gives Gallegos a hammer in the 6th end, and I only mention it because it's one of the things that sort of is a pet peeve. The even end thing, getting the hammer and the even ends tied is not such a big deal in the early ends, but when you have 3 ends to play is when it starts to really matter. And if you let Team Gallegos blank here, then you are starting to give them a more significant advantage by letting them blank. In any case, hits only the top one, and Gallegos would certainly take 2 over a blank, so he's going to draw to split the house and really set up his deuce. Quick look in at the overhead view. That rock is open, but if you split the house, it's going to be difficult for Team Brony to avoid giving up a deuce without taking some pretty big risks. So. No problem, Brian. Glad you're watching our stream. Oh, no problem, Mark. I missed your thank you before for moving the camera.
I always look at it because I never do well with these tiebreaks.
So one thing is that after the game ends, we'll definitely stick around for the nutmeg knockouts. Every team required to finish a nutmeg knockout after their game for future tie-breaking purposes in the pools at the end of the round robin. Nutmeg knockout, every player throws 1 rock. You get points based on how close to the button you manage to land your rock. Our team did not do very well. In fact, Kelly Jensen, our vice, was the only person to get a rock in the house in our nutmeg knockout.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kelly. This makes up for last season when our same team, I was the only one who, in 2 nutmeg knockouts, hit the house in both of them. So I'm glad someone else could pick up the slack. To be fair, it would probably be better if more than one of us hit the house in a given nutmeg knockout at any time. That did not quite leave a second yellow rock in the house. So look at the situation here. Rob can hit, and if he makes a good hit and roll, may force, makes a hit and stick. Technically, there may be some sort of split there for 2 for Gallegos. But Gallegos would more than likely just hit hit and try to roll out and blank. Hit and roll out here for Baroni. The Gallegos very well may play the split because it's very easy to roll 2 rocks on here. Not very easy, but very makeable, I should say. Shots away for Rob. It actually looks a bit wide here. Although there's a lot of angles here where this red can come in and did not roll the counter, unfortunately. For them, yellow sits 1. And Matt has the option of either hitting the red rock or, which makes sense here, the easier shot, probably just a draw. And if you're more than a couple inches fully into the 12, you'll count your 2 and regain some control over the game with a 2-point end here. Big draw here for Matt Gallegos. 1 certainly not a disaster, but getting the deuce here would definitely give them a pretty strong edge with 3 ends to play. All right, Matt in the hack. His slide, and the rock is away. Looks like a straight draw. There is some potential out here. He might be a little outside what they wanted, which could end up potentially even being a split on this outside yellow, depending on the line. I think it's just going to be a straight tap of that yellow, which should be enough to get them their deuce. Nice throw. Good weight there. And yellow takes 2, and that gives Team Gallegos a 6-4 lead heading into the 6th end. And now it's my turn to hop off and grab some dinner. For the moment, I will leave you on the house view that the teams are throwing through, and I think at some point Kelly will jump back on to give you some commentary, but we're taking a bit of a dinner break. We will certainly have coverage of at least the final 2 ends, but even the commentators have to eat at some point during the day, so we'll be right back.
All right, we're back to discuss the last couple rocks of this end, and then we might just finish the last. Oh, yes, thank you. Wow. What service?
Yeah. Thank you to Craig Steffen for taking our plates after we finished eating.
All right, so we have Team Gallegos sitting 4.
A lot of rocks in play.
There are a lot of rocks at play.
So quick
So
look at
Bob
the overhead
Maroney
view.
with his first here.
First with the hammer. A situation where, yeah, yellow's sitting 4. Red probably still feels like they have a shot at getting 2 if they can make a good first shot.
Yeah.
Hard to say with that broom whether he's like how hard he wants to hit that yellow. He clearly wants to move it.
Yeah.
I'm never sure with the way the ice is right now, the correlation between how much ice you're taking, and you could legitimately be taking that for, depending on how the ice is playing on that line, like for like
Yeah.
a tap back or a freeze, or it could be a control weight hit.
Yeah.
Don't know the lines well enough at the moment. So, Bob in the house
I mean,
looking
like
to.
a
Feels like a
hit and
soft.
roll in front of the yellow on the right side. I don't know.
That feels like a pretty soft weight hit, and that's as he let it go. Looks like what he's going
Yeah.
for. Just enough to move it a little.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
just a
gonna-
little tap. That's gonna be very nice. Even on the overhead, not entirely clear who's counting. I would guess it's yellow.
Yeah, it looks like yellow.
Not incredibly a big problem for red if yellow's counting at the moment, but could be. Yeah, I think it's close enough that it. Hard to say. You know, I'm gonna say
I
it's
think
yellow.
Yellow.
Based on the inside design of the stars that they are covering a little bit of that design, which is not perfectly symmetrical, but is close to symmetrical. Yeah, looks like yellow's got a bit more of that covered, but they're looking at it close. I mean, it's certainly not a
Everybody's
gimme.
looking.
Whether you're in the game or in the warm room, you're checking out whether that who's counting here on sheet C. By the way, in the 5th end, Team Mayne took one to take a 6-0 lead in the game on sheet A. Stole another point over there. They're now coming back towards the warm room for the 6th end. All right. Matt's final shot away here.
Looks like he's just trying to chip that out.
I don't think he's trying to remove it. I don't think you can. I mean, maybe if you threw a ton of weight, but yeah, he's probably just coming down to it to make sure he can. Well, it's more than just guarding. Okay, here it'll be a guard, and that's fine. Even down to it, he would have been happy just to, because that's a force if you lock onto it. There's no way to give up 2. I don't think there's any way to give up. Maybe. Even if you think yellow's counting, you could always come through that small port.
Well, if you run the red back.
You could run the red back. There are definitely options here if you want to play for 2. Or if you think you're counting. You could just draw for your second. Although it's not that easy to draw for your second, actually, either.
Yeah.
Like, sort of playing a run on your red or come through that port and tap your red might be the easier way to get 2 anyway.
They're looking at the run back.
Either run back or some sort of soft weight back. Just if you throw a back 8 and you hit the top red, you're probably going to get 2.
Oh, the yellow's gonna jam. So.
But you'll be almost biting, so you should be okay. If it jams at all, it's going to be on the outside of that yellow, most likely.
All you worry about is yours spilling.
Which is why you don't want to throw a lot of weight. Craig's behind me talking about. I guess the conversation in the commentary that people hear is one-sided right now. So, all right. Anyway, they are definitely looking over several options, as you can see. Bob and Barb, the Skip and Vice out there in front of the house, looking over their possibilities. I think there's definitely shots here for 2. None of them are easy though.
No. And with how straight the ice has been for the most part, that port may be bigger than it looks.
Also true. Michael Hope asks, what is on the dinner menu tonight? Well, we had chicken piccata.
Let us talk about the important stuff that we're here to talk about.
That was the
the dinner menu.
The non-vegetarian option was chicken piccata,
And
but there was also
everything else was a
vegetarian,
option,
yeah.
which was wonderful and amazing. So thank you to everyone who ordered tonight. We have a cheese lasagna. And I don't need to say this because Craig's just going to say it behind me.
They might not hear it well, though.
So we have eggplant parmesan, cheese lasagna, chicken piccata, as Ed mentioned, and then a lemon arugula spaghetti,
Yes.
salad, bread, butter, a full bar. So come on down for food, drinks, and curling.
All the classics. All right, Bob Bruni's last rock away. It looks like they're playing this run back on the red.
Looking good.
It's pretty close. Sweepers are off it, though. Might be just a touch wide. Could still get one. If this will get into the 4-foot for one,
yes.
at least one.
Measure.
Little
the one
applause
the
from the
hard
war
way.
room. The Vices are definitely going to be looking at this. Some of the non-Vices are also looking at this.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's agreed that it was definitely one. What do we...
That's the one you don't need to look at. But
Yeah, probably didn't need to look at that last one there, but, okay. So it's going to be one for Team Baroni. Keeping them in touch here with Team Gallegos. Gallegos goes to the 7th with the hammer and 1-point lead. Definitely a good position, but all to play for, as they say still. So now as Team Baroni gets ready to throw their first...
Did you want to stay tonight, or are you going to stay tomorrow at my house? Probably tomorrow. But yeah. Same.
Team Baroni here gonna probably be looking to set up a steal. Their easiest path to victory here is steal one, steal one. Force certainly not the end of the world. They could take 2 in.
I would
the
say
8th.
easier might be stealing 3
And stealing 5.
and then stealing 5.
That does seem even easier. You're right. So you're looking steal, or force take 2, steal 1.
That was a perfect set of my cards.
Oh yeah, we have to get up
All
early.
Yeah, we do have an 8 a.m. game tomorrow.
We do have an 8 a.m. game tomorrow, so very exciting.
So good center line guard to start the end for Team Baroni, and Team Gallegos happy to play the wings here. You know what they would love? They would love, well, either to score, of course, or blank the end and keep the hammer for the 8th. That rock gonna go a little deep, but stay in the house. Not a terrible position. Very, very hard for Team Baroni to use that rock against them.
Yeah.
In fact, Bob, it looks like looked for a second like he wanted to throw the freeze and
Yeah.
then thought better of it because freeze in the end is not going to really outcount much if you freeze
yeah.
back there in the back 12.
Instead of putting up another guard,
Yes.
which is
I
what
think
you want to do.
I think a smart player if you need to steal the end.
Mm-hmm.
Narrow is gonna hit his head.
All right, looks like another good center guard here. Going to leave a little bit of
Oh,
separation
wow.
between the two. Yep. Actually got them pretty close together by the end there, but
Yeah.
definitely some good control over the center line there. All right, Sharon Gallegos getting ready to throw her second rock. And maybe looking to throw something either as a guard or top of the house, same side as the one she threw in the back, just to prevent a freeze later in the end.
Supers are going hard. Looks like they're looking to get it in.
It's unclear whether that's a biter or not.
That looks like a biter bar for sure.
But that might
Yep.
be the camera angle.
Are you getting out of here? Okay. We'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Can I bring anyone a Red Bull or a coffee?
No, I'm good.
Or a tea?
A mimosa?
A mimosa? Yes, I can also do that.
We're getting ready for our 8 a.m. game tomorrow, just discussing all the beverage options. Red Bull, coffee, tea, mimosa.
A case of wine. Wow.
I was like, so beautiful, finally get me.
Might miss. Oh, tickled it.
Alright, well, I'll text him now, but I'm definitely doing a Starbucks run, so if anybody wants something, just let me know.
probably pick up like a breakfast sandwich on the way here or something. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm not a coffee person is the problem. So. I know. I know.
I'll be in touch.
Have a good night, Courtney.
Good night, Kurt.
All right, we just had to say goodbye to our wonderful lead, Courtney Mears. As she offered to pick us up coffee, tea, and other assorted beverages and foods in the morning if we needed them before our 8 a.m.
An
game.
actual angel.
All right, so as we pick up the situation here, it actually it's hard to tell from the camera angle because rocks in the back tend to look a little closer than they actually are, much like in Jurassic Park. Objects in mirror may be closer than they appear.
Jurassic Park
or any
your
car.
rear view mirrors.
Yeah. I would also expect that it's red, but I'm not 100% sure. It's red looking like they're going to play a hit here to make sure they're sitting 2.
Should not matter if he makes his shot.
Yeah. Sit 2 and sort of start to set up a force. I think it'll go. You're right.
Yep.
I think it'll get there. Yep.
Let's
It looks
go.
good now. May not stick around, though. Yep. It does. And red now looks to be sitting 1-2. So. Now, there's still plenty of rocks left in this end. Yellow could still set up a score of multiple, but it starting to look like the blank's unlikely. Starting to get a lot of rocks in play.
The stone is wide open, so.
Yeah, they're going to.
Team Gallegos just looking to make it go away.
Michael, Team Mayne is up 6-0 after 5. I don't know what. I think they're playing the 6th now, possibly. Oh, they're playing their. I saw them shake after the 6th, I believe. I think they're playing their nutmeg knockout now. Looks like a hit and roll out for Gallegos.
Yes. Yeah, and they bumped their back red a little bit too.
So it's starting to get closer as to whether. I think red's still counting, but it's getting a little closer.
It's a race to the edge of the 12-foot.
As you like to say, the game's in the house.
But barely.
Just barely. Well, when you're the hammer, you actually don't mind that too much.
True. Yeah, nice open middle.
Yeah. All right, Barb's second rock away here, right? First rock? First rock.
Yes.
And kind of hanging straight on that center line again. It's going to count, but it will be right on the center line. Pretty open here. Top 4 for Katie to go after. And they would love to roll behind their own guard here on the left side of your screen. Shots away. Now, if I was selfish, I'd be paying attention to the nutmeg knockout here on sheet A because they are the other two teams in our group, and those tiebreakers could be important. But instead, I will look at this very nice hit here from Katie McKinley.
They roll, but pretty open. A little bit of backing behind it, but
yeah,
not sure that's really enough to make much of a difference.
Got the
They're
roll, but it
looking
actually
to-
overrolled by like a foot or so. Yeah.
It's like they're looking to hit this and roll undercover themselves.
Yeah. Shots away. Supers are all over it. A little narrow and trying to get a piece. May actually be on the front yellow, which
They do take care of that little biter, so
the biter's gone. And by rolling off the biter, it rolls red back to second shot. So yellow is certainly first and third, although I imagine Matt's going to hit that to sit 3. Pretty safe shot to play with very little central cover for Team Brony to use here. Well, that's a nice rock there on the nutmeg knockout over on A. They're debating whether it's on the button or not. In any case, shots away here from Katie. Looking to play this outside hit. Looks like she made it very nicely, and yellow will sit 3. So Team Brony in a bit of a pressure situation here. They definitely can't give up a multiple down one without here on the 7th. They're going to really want to either force or steal. You could sit in the pocket, as Craig suggested. That's not an easy shot to count with, but if you got right on top of it, you'd be second shot at worst. And if you get to the inside, which is what he's looking at here, you could outcount them and make it still difficult to remove. So it's going to be pretty cold tomorrow morning, Kelly, when we come to the club, isn't it? And Kelly reaches for her beer.
Which is empty. Just a cider.
So I'd say, Kelly, these teams on sheet A, I think they're doing better than we did on our nutmeg knockouts, although Sean's rock's a little deep
I
here.
feel great about my nutmeg knockout performance.
Yours was quite good.
I feel like it may have been the best
top of the 8 foot
on the team.
Yeah, you got 2 points if you hit the 8 foot. Kelly hit the 8 foot, and we as a team got 2 points. So tells you about how well we did in our tiebreaker, which could come into play if we win our next 2 games. Unfortunately,
which will come into play when we win our next 2 games.
I'm not sure that's better given the way we did in the tiebreaker.
Sweepers are sweeping
yeah,
hard,
this is close. It might
like
just come up a bit short, huh?
Yep. Oh, it's gonna be exposed.
Yep.
Little exposed. Not easy to.
About 15 seconds for that stone.
Well, no, it's not easy to get rid of that stone usefully because I mean you can hit it out to sit 3 again. If you hit it to count, you're gonna just jam it onto your yellow because you have to hit the inside to count. You can't nose at the count. He's playing a tap on his own yellow, I think. Yeah. So Matt looking at a yellow tap here to sit 3 again. Thank you. No, good.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah.
So they're all broken. I don't know what happened to them.
The alcohol ran out somehow.
Yeah, the glasses were full when I bought them, but
I know, yeah.
It just evaporated, I think. Into
Shouldn't
the air.
happen. Really shouldn't happen that fast. I demand a refund if I were you.
It was going through. We were having a whole We're looking at the shoreline near Boston. We got all beat up.
All right, Gallegos' final rock away.
That last red one was supposed to be a freeze on the 2 yellows, and it didn't make it. He's tapping his own yellow. Yeah.
Oh, hitting the red doesn't.
He decided to just. And he's a little bit hot actually though. It's gonna go out.
And yeah, it's a little bit hot there and pushes it through. So now, I think red currently sitting third.
Alright, so Ed, let's play. How can we get 2 if we're red?
If we're red, well, if we're red, we don't have the hammer. So I think we're happy to try
Oh,
to
we
steal
are.
one.
Sorry, I thought that, I thought that was Matt's last rock. So
That's still an interesting question. How would
Yeah.
you get 1 here? How would you try to set up a steal? And chances are you don't want to play it too aggressively. Maybe you tap your red into the yellow.
That's the in-off on his own red.
That's not a bad idea either, because if you make it, you might
Yeah,
sit
you
like
could-
first and third and not make it so easy. Or first and second even if you hit it right. You hit it right on the just off nose.
Just off nose, you could be.
You could sit 1 and be buried even because your own rock, if you just hit it, I mean,
Yeah.
like just barely off nose. You give yourself at least a chance to sit 1 buried, or if not entirely buried, at least difficult to remove.
Hit his own stone at 5:30.
As Craig Steffen back here said, yeah, hit his own stone around 5:30ish.
Well, it's nearly 7.
It's a little late for a 5:30 hit. You know. At least on Eastern time, it is closing in on 7 o'clock. Big shot here, though, for Team Baroni. As here we have Robert leaving the house and delivering the rock, which is now away. Sweepers are off it early.
He's got a curl.
Does need a lot of curl. Could end up playing a hit on this yellow, which... So, that's actually not the end of the world. It improved the situation for Red. Red is now sitting second shot. Not what he was looking to do, for sure.
Yeah.
But managed to hit that yellow thin enough that... Now, yes, you can... The thing is, and they're looking at it now, is you play this... You play a hit just to chip the red out, and you get 3.
Yeah.
He chips it out. He gets 3.
But he's looking like he's not going to mess with it, because if you get to the nose of that rock ever, you can give up a steal of 1 very easily.
Yeah.
And a 2 puts him in a pretty dominant position, so he's going to play the little tap on his yellow here, try to just score his 2. And
Yeah.
take a 3-point lead into
the
the
same shot he just threw, so
yeah.
we should hopefully be able to dial it back a little bit. And
This is definitely a decision based on what you're comfortable throwing, because either one of these shots puts you in a very, very comfortable position. Mike Hope, there is no 7 draw. There's actually a draw at 8 o'clock, and that'll be the final draw, as Jeff Hannon just said in chat. So, 8 p.m. draw after this for the other 4 teams that have not competed yet today. All right, final shot away.
Line's good.
Looks pretty close. The thing is, you don't want to end up in between, would be the only concern. You want to hit it enough to, and he did, hits it enough to sit 2. That's going to be a 2 for Team Gallegos, which will give them a very nice shot and an 8-5 lead going into the 8th.
yeah. I'd love to be able to dial back my weight like that on command.
Good adjustment.
Guys want a cannoli?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. All right, as this is our only remaining game on the ice, we'll stick with it here. Give you a view of the house they're throwing at, as I didn't see what Team Gallegos is throwing here, but I assume it's maybe top 4, top button, or through. Only a 3-point lead. They might well be throwing a rock in the house, but no, it looks like this is just a throw through, which is fine. Makes perfect sense, especially if you're confident in your ability to defend here, and I imagine Bob will end up throwing some corner guards in an attempt to set up a
Yeah, I mean, any
situation.
any guard is useful for your opponent, and no guards are best for you when you're up 3.
With the hammer, yeah.
With the
Or
hammer.
well, in any case,
Well,
when you're up
without the
3,
with
yeah.
or without the hammer.
When you're up 3, yeah.
When you're
yeah,
up 3,
certainly.
it doesn't matter.
We'll watch these rocks come into play. Sweepers are on this one early. And anything over is helpful. They are trying to hold it and bring it as deep as they can. This could be a very solid 2 guard, though, which would be a good way to... Yeah, that's fine. So that covers even angling. Definitely covers a lot of the 12-foot. That's fine with the hammer.
Yeah.
They'll be happy with that. A very nice corner guard. Also out of the way, if Bob has to make a draw on his last shot, that is way off the draw lines for the 4-foot. So if the play ever comes back to the center, that won't hurt them. And Matt calling another shot through the house here. Successfully made. And
that'd be a 100% on that shot.
Absolutely. Sorry, we're gonna leave that. We don't actually score those in curling, if you didn't know. No credit for throw-throughs. I mean, you deserve credit. Why not give the shooters more?
Hey, what if you were light?
Yeah, you never know. Why not give the shooters more percentage by letting them have that as a 4? It'd be nice.
That could just get masked.
It's not their fault. It was an easy shot.
I mean, if you were trying to hit something else and you threw it through the house, you'd get 0.
Right, it's true. So why shouldn't you get credit when you're supposed to throw through, right? All right, well, Rob looking to split the rings here by...
you could make a shot that's helpful to your team and get 0.
Yep. And that one going a little deep into the house. Now, there's no 5 rock rule yet. So yellow would be able to hit that anyway. You'd still prefer the guard so that if yellow hits and sticks around, they leave a guard for you. But yeah. We're playing with the 5 rock rule next month when we go to mixed playnets.
Yeah. I was trying to think about it actually today during our game.
Well,
is this rock hittable or not?
Yeah. Once you fall behind, it's good to think about, what if only we had the 5 rock rule to get more guards in play? Okay, so yeah. Team Gallegos successfully removes the rock in the house. Wouldn't be surprised if Bob
They roll
decides...
out as well?
They roll out. It's just fine for them. They don't need to score here.
Yeah.
I would be surprised
They just need to not give up 3 or more.
I kind of like throwing another guard here, but coming around is fine too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I think Bob is electing to just use the guard right away.
Yeah.
It's toasty. I don't think so. Back 12 or out. He's gonna sweep it out.
He's going.
Yep.
And that one goes sailing through the house, which is unfortunate because now Team Gallegos will try to peel the only rock in play.
Yeah.
An empty sheet, which is a tough place to be if you want to score 3. Kind of need a couple guards up or at least a guard up to get your 3 of those. Sweeper's on it right away. Looked like it might have been a bit narrow.
So I think this is still gonna
just
take
enough,
care
right?
of it.
Now we'll stay around and play, which...
well, that leaves one of their rocks.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. They're going to be perfectly happy with that. Red is happier to have that rock in play than not, but it's in a relatively manageable position for Team Gallegos. The only thing I'll say, and Bob's doing it now, is you can come to the back 12 around that and sit one and use that as a guard. Hint to new skips out there. Rocks that are in the house can sometimes be guards too.
Any rock is a guard if there's a rock behind it.
That's a fair point.
Although maybe I need to amend that to something about above the tee.
Yeah, most of the time your guards
Yeah.
are not going to be behind the tee line. So that rock does stay around the house in the back of the house, which is where they were playing to. Doesn't get buried, unfortunately, which leaves a hit here for Katie McKinley, the vice for Team Gallegos. They're just going to be looking to remove rocks at this point. Matt points out there that removing the guard is not the end of the world here either.
Yeah.
Because of the 3-point lead. With a 2-point lead, you'd be pretty unhappy if you crashed on the guard. 3-point lead gives you... And this might be on the guard. In fact, I think it is, and it may actually leave a guard too, which is the worst outcome. No, it'll spin away, so... So Rob has some options here. You could try to come around that yellow. That's hard on this ice running. Even off the center line, it does curl a bit, but it's not easy. Looking like you might try to guard the back one. If you're going to have another rock open in the house, I'd prefer to leave them split because that gives you 2 smaller targets instead of 1 larger target for someone's trying to hit the aim at.
It's a lesson I've learned the hard way more than one occasion.
You could also potentially freeze to the yellow because if you could eventually keep that rock around for a while and maybe use it on your last rock by running. So I might play the freeze on the yellow or even throw one more guard because you have 2 rocks left. Like throw a guard on your red and hope for a nose or something. But drawing in is sensible in the sense that makes them make a shot. I mean, whether it counts or not yet is not critically important, although they would have liked to have counted there. That's going to be Red's rock in the top 12 not counting yet. Despite the fact that that's not the counter, Matt, for a couple different reasons, might go after this red rock with one in top first. The first is that it could act as a guard or it could be tapped later. The second is he could make a double here and just win the game.
Yeah.
Sorry, not win the game. They have 3 rocks left after this with the hammer.
But leave things pretty well in hand.
Yes, virtually win the game if you make a double here.
They also have a few rocks.
They do also have 2 rocks remaining after this one. Rocks away. It's definitely a hit. Might be a little wide for the double, but does remove 1 red rock, puts the yellow to the back. You could now freeze to that yellow and at least put some pressure on, make them.
Yeah.
He's looking at freezing to the red, and I don't like that as much because you leave open the possibility you leave a double.
Yeah.
On your 2 reds, if you freeze to the yellow, you make things a little more complicated. At this point, there's not much you can do to make it that complicated, so I think freezing to the yellow makes it so that they not only have to, like if you freeze, they hit the open one, you freeze a second time. Now it's their last rock, and they have to pretty much land on the nose of your rock, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is great ice for a freeze anyway.
Well, it's getting back. I mean, they might know that line. It's just I don't think it has the weight, which could leave a double, unfortunately. But Matt's still going to have to make that to finish off the game here. It actually ended up in a little bit of an unfortunate place in the sense that it's close enough to make a double easier. If it had been a little higher, it makes the double tougher and maybe makes that jam on the yellow at least a possibility. Here it has to be, you'd have to hit it really thin to jam. Now that could be the commentator's curse. It could happen now that we said it. But,
I think there are a few people on the sheet that may be having their fingers crossed for that, but
you never know.
He's made 100% of his field goals over 50 yards this season.
Oh, no. Mike Hope says, me likes freeze yeller. So he agreed with us. All right. Shots incoming. He's got one, does not get the second one. So now, what do you like? Because I think I know what I would call here pretty quickly. What do you like here for red?
What do
think
I
there's a-
like here for
knowing
Brett?
that reminder, you must score 3 here, of course, to
Must
stay
score
in the game.
3. So
So think about how can you avoid giving up an easy hit, and there is a way if you make the shot to
to avoid that, I
to
mean,
avoid giving
if
up an easy
you
hit.
make that double, are you flat enough that it would?
Wherever they hit 1 out, you'll lose.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
true.
so one option, and I think he's looking at it now, is you corner freeze that yellow,
Yeah.
and it makes both hits a little tougher. Matt might still be able to just throw a bit up weight and remove you, but
Yeah.
you kind of have to take a chance here. And then it puts Gallegos under some pressure to make either. I mean, if he wants to throw a guard, he can, but it has to be an excellent guard, or throw a second counter or something to
He actually
stop
called
you
to
from.
come under the yellow.
Under the yellow kind of works too. Same idea. I like having the backing for you.
He kind of reverse call freeze, you know, where yellow is frozen on him.
Yeah, it looked like he might be trying to come just tucked under the yellow Christmas tree everything, which is the same concept.
And if you put it in the right place, if he pops the yellow, it jams on the other yellow.
Possibly. I mean that.
That's what he did. That's what he was showing.
So we'll look at. You can see Team Baroni looking
It just has to be a perfect shot.
discussing. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Sometimes it has to be. It's perfect.
Yeah. So behind us saying, so I think the line has to be perfect. The weight does not necessarily have to be perfect because as long as you line up where you leave some jams and you make it hard to hit either out,
Right.
you want to be somewhere close to that top yellow rock. You're not going to be counting 2 at the end of the shot. So the point is that you make it hard to remove them.
Come
And
underneath the Yellowstone and sit like this.
I think since you're not going to be counting 2 anyway, I'd prefer to freeze on the front yellow. I think it makes it a little more difficult to get rid of your shot. Does have to reach the house, and the sweepers are on it right away, hard.
Yeah, weight looks good.
Yeah, see, I think he's on it.
Yeah.
We got all
Maybe
the
not.
rooms available. Well, I guess only 3 or 4. Oops.
Oh, and if he left it short, it's just not going to get there, and that might be the game. Really hard to imagine how you would get your 3 here. If Nick shake yet, but I imagine Matt will throw this rock away and just say, "Well, show me how to get 3."
And if Bob has some ideas, frankly, I will be very happy to stick around for that.
Oh, we got the 360. The 360. All right, not quite Jeff Stoughton level of 360, but it was. Sorry, we missed that on the. I did not have the far cameras away, but
Shot on sheet B.
Matt might be happy that we missed that.
Yeah, it would have gone just through on sheet B.
Yes, Jeff. That's Jeff agreed. Yes, of course, and Mike also on top of Shot Rock. Yeah, corner freeze on top yellow. Yes, we're all in agreement there that that was probably the shot in that case.
Yeah, right.
So I'm not sure. Certainly shots for 2.
No, it doesn't.
Final score is not as important there. So there could also be, because there was some confusion on our sheet with our opponents about the final score mattering because of all the tiebreakers involved in the short round robin. That could be part of the issue here. But, just not, I don't think,
Throughout the warm room, different commentary about how the impossibility of.
Yeah, there's no shot for 3 here, of course, and I think of Bob.
I don't know,
knows
just
that, too.
split them sort of.
What you need to do is split them and then have with peel weight, but then have your rock picked so they both end up going into the yellow rocks and removing them.
Yeah, just leave leave a little fuzz.
And just gonna slide by the yellow on the final shot, which leaves the end as the final. Yellow does score 1 in the end. Final score 9-5 for Team Gallegos.
We're not gonna see any wizardry tonight.
That's okay. Yeah.
We'll save that for the final. All right, so we're gonna stick around and check out the Nutmeg Knockout.
Yeah, why not watch some Nutmeg Knockout rocks?
Yeah.
Let's see how these teams do in their tiebreaker.
Yeah,
Spiel chairman Jack Miller out there now to keep score for the Nutmeg Knockout tiebreaker. In fact, I'm going to update the scoreboard for the Nutmeg Knockout. How about that? We'll go.
Sounds great.
We will go. We'll change the end to knockout.
It's an exciting way to see who has mastered their draw weight at the end of this end.
And they are taking one rock each down to the far end. They're going to throw them back to the warm room for us. Nice and convenient for us.
Yeah, it's really nice. Although, we're going to have to talk to the skips because as we're seated behind Sheetsy, occasionally they stand in our way.
Yes.
In the house, it's hard to see around them.
All right, let's get some. We're choosing between rocks here. Everyone has to throw one rock, so they want to pick the rock that is most suiting them.
Ed, do you have any, singing ability, musical stylings while we wait for everyone to get set up? You could maybe delight our listeners with a.
I do not.
With a song.
Sharon Gallegos throwing the first rock for Team Gallegos. Looking to score some tiebreaker points in the Nutmeg Knockout.
Right, so in the Nutmeg Knockout, touch the 12, that's 1 point. Touch the 8, that's 2 point. Touch the 4-foot, that's 3. Touch the button for 5, and this looks like it's a twofer.
That is definitely a 2-pointer. So add 2 points to Team Gallegos to score in the knockout. So while I'm leaving a scoreboard here, do keep in mind there is this is not a head-to-head competition.
Nope, this will just be used as a tiebreaker.
Yeah, at the end of round-robin play, potentially there could be three-way ties in the group that can't be decided by head-to-head. More likely, there could be ties, teams with the same record in different pools, and this would be the next tiebreaker to decide who moves to what event in our final. Okay, we've got Diane Clay ready to throw her first rock. Her only rock, I should say, the first rock for Team Pereni. I'm yawning too.
It's not the curling, it's just been the
It's not gonna hog, but it's gonna be short of the house, so that'll be no points for that one.
Well, I'm looking over Jack Miller's score sheet as he marks scores down on the ice, and it looks like Team Miller scored 8 points.
Wow, not too shabby.
So yeah, each member of their team scored at least 1.
Wow.
So
imagine if our team had done
I'm
that.
glad that we're not in his division.
We really struggled on the Nutmeg Knockout, although we really struggled for the 6 ends preceding the Nutmeg Knockout as well.
Yeah, we really got it together, started to get it together.
Later in the game we did, yeah.
But yeah,
looks
new year,
like
new ice.
Tom Daly's rock's going to sail a little bit heavy, maybe. Nope, not quite. Stick around in the back 12. So that'll also be a 0. Still 2 points for Gallegos. Baroni, no points, but ready to throw their second rock. And it will be Steve Clay throwing the second rock.
That would make sense.
You got it.
Nutmeg Knockout, a fan favorite. There's still 10 viewers watching to see how these teams perform in their tiebreaker.
Sweepers are off it. Looks like it's slowing down.
Yeah,
Could be
maybe
a very
maybe
nice shot. Oh!
Hey, that's a 3-point rock for Team Baroni. Heck of a job there by Steve Clay to help out his team's tiebreak score. Rocks away from Katie McKinley. Sweepers are really on this rock hard. Looks like it might be short. A lot of teams struggling with the Nutmeg Knockout today, actually. Honestly, we're saying Jack's team had a good score with 8. Normally that wouldn't be okay, but it wouldn't be but today I think that's a really good score.
Great, yeah.
So that came up short. Yeah, normally in like our league nights we use that as a tiebreaker. 8 would be a fine score, but it could be beatable or not, average maybe. That looks like it might be the high score tonight so far.
From what I've seen and heard, I wouldn't be surprised. And I think sometimes, when it's specifically for the points, it can almost seem more intimidating than just trying to draw normally.
To win a game.
Or because that's a called shot.
Right.
It's a little more of the spotlight focus.
Well, you'll get some of that when we go to playdowns because we'll do more of those draws, pregame last shot draws, which the whole team will have to do.
Sounds
this one
horrifying.
looks pretty good. Sounds horrifying. I think they got 3. Oh, it's very close. I am not sure.
Boy, they might have to measure it.
Hard to tell. Well, I don't think you can measure. It's not really.
They have to get Ed. Jack might have to make a ruling. Yep, they're going to ask for a ruling. It's very close.
Oh, Jack may feel uncomfortable ruling because it's his group too.
The inner part of the white circle. There's a centimeter there. What counts? Oh, they counted it.
And the ruling was a 5.
5.
5. All right.
5 points for Team Baroni.
All right, Barbaroni taking care of business. I was actually wondering if anyone had indeed scored.
Well, they have now.
Scored 5.
So far with that 5.
I like your shirt.
Skip Sean Mayne here with his Eat, Drink, Curl shirt.
They need to go. They need to go hard.
Last rock for Team Gallegos away with Matt's rock. They're trying to kick it to a 1. It might just be short. Yeah, just didn't. Yeah. Little kick at the end did not quite count. So that'll finish up Team Gallegos' tiebreak with a score of 2, a popular score today for the tiebreak. It's just been challenging.
With 8, which actually does tie Team Miller's score.
Yeah, with 1 rock to go. So
yes.
This is Team Baroni looking to maybe have the best tie breaks in their division if they can.
And getting
score here.
Getting more than 1 point would put him in the lead.
A lot of pretty competitive curlers struggling with this Nutmeg Knockout today. It's just been not easy going.
That's looking promising.
Whoa, but looks pretty good. This is definitely going to give them 9 points, 10 points, 11 points, and that is on the button. Big cheers in the warm room for Bob Baroni picking up another 5. It's breaking our scoreboard sort of because
Team Baroni
we can fit double
really
digits on that
dominating
score.
the Nutmeg Knockout.
Yeah, well done on the Nutmeg Knockout by Team Baroni. Well, that'll wrap up our coverage of the 5 p.m. draw. Any final thoughts, Kelly?
You know what? I really like this game. Curling.
Curling? Yeah, I'm a big curling fan too, I have to say.
Yeah. I like talking about it. I like watching it. And I like delicious dinner at Bonspiel. So thanks to all the Nutmeg members making it possible by
Yeah, we
volunteering
have-
in the warm room, working on the ice and the rocks, and playing in it.
Yeah, tons of great volunteers here. Couldn't have a Bonspiel without them, and we're playing it in this weekend, but we really appreciate our fellow club mates who have come out and helped make this possible. So, anyway, well, there will definitely be streaming at the 8 o'clock draw. I don't know if I'm actually going to stick around to broadcast as I originally thought I was, because I'm a little tired, I think.
Yeah, we have an 8 a.m. draw.
We also have an
so-
8 a.m. game tomorrow, so I'm going to see if someone else will step in. If no one else will, maybe I will stick around and do it just for the heck of it. But we'll see.
You'll have to tune in to find out.
Yeah, you'll have to tune in to find out. That makes it very exciting and dramatic. You don't know if I'll be here or not.
So thanks to all of our viewers. and
Oh, you're welcome,
remember-
Brian Glatzer, who thanked Ed and Kelly.
Oh, thanks, Brian. It's Kelly.
Yeah, with a Y, not an I-E, but yeah, thank you for the kind
But
thoughts.
yeah.
So,
And remember, you're always welcome to make a donation to Nutmeg Curling Club.
yeah, I mean it is true. All right, so, all right, we'll see you again in about 40 minutes for the next draw.
Good night and good curling.